Hi everyone, Play-Doh here, and today we'll be going over how to successfully kill Mommy Lilith 100% of the time with a bit of practice on your Bone Spear Necro. I've gotten a lot of requests on stream to make this video, so here we are. That being said, I better not see any comments in that comment section saying, Play-Doh, I have the same build and I can't kill her. I guarantee you do not have the same build, and if you do, you're not following the steps correctly. This fight is very telegraphed, and if you follow these instructions with a bit of practice, you will succeed. I'm also doing free Uber Lilith carries daily at my Twitch at twitch.tv/PlayDohBear, so come grab one while it's still hot or to ask any questions about this fight. Let's first quickly go over our gear. The full gear with the exact stats, skill tree, and Paragon board will also be available in the video description below via the Max Roll D4 planner. For our helmet, we're using the Deathless Visage. For our chest piece, we're using one with more damage to bone skills and more flat damage. You do not need these damage stats, as a chest piece with 4 damage reduction stats will be sufficient for the fight. The aspect we're using is Protector to help us out a bit, not getting one shot. For our gloves, we have one with 4 ranks to Bone Spear, Lucky Hit to restore primary resource, crit damage with bone skills, and crit strike chance. The crit damage with bone skills is not necessary, but the other 3 stats are. I cannot tell you how important it is to have Lucky Hit to restore primary resource on your gloves. It is single-handedly better than exposed flesh. The aspect we're using here is Inner Calm, giving us 30% increase in our damage when we stand still. We'll go over this later in the fight mechanics, as standing still is the key to victory. For our pants, we just have a pair of pants with 4 damage reduction stats and disobedience, nothing special here. For our boots, the only 2 stats that really matter here are ranks to corpse tendrils and essence cost reduction. The intelligence and all stats is nice to have for a little bit of extra damage just for the Mommy Lilith fight, but again not necessary. The aspects on the boots doesn't impact this fight at all. Next, for our amulet, the only 2 stats that really matter are either ranks to avulsion or ranks to compound fracture and essence cost reduction. Anything else is a bonus. We want the aspect on our amulet to be grasping veins for the extra crit chance and crit damage after we use our corpse tendrils, which we will get into a bit more later via the fight mechanics. For both of our rings, the stats we want are max essence, crit chance, crit damage, or crit damage with bone skills, and vulnerable. The 3 main stats you want to focus here are max essence, crit chance, and vulnerable damage. The 4th can be something like physical damage or whatever if you couldn't get crit to roll. The aspects we want are exposed flesh for the chance to get up to 50 essence back, and ossified essence, which will increase the crit damage of our bone skills by 1% per essence above 50, up to 40%. Do note that exposed flesh is not required, but is more helpful for consistency with our essence. Just having Lucky Hit to restore on our gloves is generally enough. For our weapon, we have a 795 item power, 2-handed sword with crit strike damage, core scale damage, vulnerable, and intelligence. These are the 4 god roll stats, but as long as you have something like vulnerable, intelligence, core, or crit, you should be good. You can also replace intelligence for something like all stats in case intelligence just didn't happen to be on your weapon, and it'll still pretty much function the same. We do, however, want the highest splintering aspect we can get for our weapon, and I'd also recommend a weapon with at least 780 plus item power for consistency. Heading to our sacrifices, we have skirmishers for the extra crit chance, cold for the extra damage to vulnerable, and iron for the crit damage. You can swap out cold for shadow if one of your rings is missing max essence if you'd like. Here's a quick look at our skill tree. I will not be going over any of this in detail as it's pretty straightforward. The only thing you'll want to note is that this skill tree is specifically just for Uber Lilith, so please do not use this skill tree if you're going to be playing the game normally with your Bone Spear Necro. Moving forward to our Paragon board, make sure you order your Paragon board correctly, otherwise you will lose out on the rare node bonuses. This is due to the requirements for the rare node bonuses increasing as we add more boards. Here's the order we want. Our starting board is going to have Sacrificial, then we head into Bone Graft second and pop in Exploit. Our third board is going to be Scent of Death, where we slap on Imbiber. Then our 4th board is going to be Flesh Eater with Gravekeeper slapped on, and finally our 5th board will be Bloodbath with the Essence Glyph slapped on. Lot of slapping. The most important damage buff in our Paragon board that we will need to focus on for this fight is Imbiber for the damage while healthy, and Flesh Eater. With Flesh Eater, when we consume 5 corpses, it grants us a 40% increased damage for 6 seconds. We'll get into more of this when we go over the fight mechanics right now. Let's start with step 1. We first want to pop our Elixir of Resourcefulness. This gives us an extra 50 essence. More essence means more crit and more damage. Once we pop our elixir, you can see that we have 244 max essence. We also get up to another 24 max essence thanks to our Bone Graft legendary node in our Paragon tree. This will bring up our total essence to 268 when dealing damage. Step 2. We want to place our cursor and walk exactly to the spot I'm showing you on screen. This is important as when Lilith spawns, she'll knock us back to the perfect spot we need to be in to get the most damage. I think a lot of people attempting this fight are unaware of how important your positioning is. Our positioning matters for our bone spears that ricochet back. Being in the right position allows our bone spears that ricochet back to hit Lilith's hitbox for maximum damage. If you're too close to her, then bye-bye all of your damage, basically. Step 3, when she spawns and knocks you back, calmly throw out your bone spears until you see the first corpse spawn. Do not spam your bone spears here. If you do, you're going to mess up the timing and run out of essence immediately most of the time. We also want to never move and just stand still once we've been knocked back for the intercom bonus for the increase in damage. You'll see as we keep watching in the clip that I don't move at all from the spot she knocked me back to. Step 4. Once you see the first corpse spawn, pop your tendrils for a damage increase. Step 5. Follow up with 3 to 5 bone spears depending on your damage, as our goal is to get her slightly below the first arrow bar of her HP bar. At this time, you'll see a blood blister also spawn behind you. Make sure to kill it right away and consume the blood blister corpse with your corpse explosion. This will be our first corpse we pop out of the 5 for a Flesh Eater damage bonus. Step 6. At this exact time, Lilith will spawn near you or behind you. This is where we get our essence back, as we want to be as close to full essence as possible for the next phase. We do this by spamming our bone splinters, as you can see in the clip. Note that if in your attempt you don't get her HP down as low as I did, weave in some bone spears and splinters to get her HP down around halfway to the next arrow bar. This is when she will start flying up for the sky phase. Step 7. When she starts flying up into the air, pop 3 more corpses, then a corpse tendrils in front of you as she's about to fly down. Make sure to also be at 85% or higher HP, as we have a lot of damage while healthy from our Paragon tree. If you're feeling like you're not doing enough damage here, this is probably one of the reasons why. You'll get the timing for popping the corpses and the tendrils with more practice here. Remember that corpse tendrils does not consume a corpse. Once you pop your corpse tendrils, pop your 5th corpse for the Flesh Eater bonus, then just hold right click until she has no more HP for the first phase. Sometimes RNG will be your enemy and you may not have enough corpses spawned by Hewed Flesh. If this is the case, just try again. Step 8. Once you get her HP down to basically 1, she will go back up to the sky again. We need to make sure at this step to kill all of the minions she spawns. If the minions are not dead by the time she drops back down, she will go back up to the sky again to do her one-shot triangle attack. So make sure you kill all those minions before she drops back down. Step 9. As she's coming back down, once all the minions are dead, go into your blood mist to be immune for the damage. Step 10. Use your bone splinters on one of the blood blisters as she spawns to get her essence back to full. Make sure you kill them all before they explode though, or else you're dead. Step 11. Once you get your essence back and all the blood blisters are dead, consume 4 corpses right away. Step 12. Position yourself exactly where I am pointing and then just stand still for intercom. Remember, our position matters for maximum damage. Step 13. As soon as she is forming half of her second wing, we want to pop our Bone Storm for the increased crit chance, then pop our tendrils near a corpse to where she is spawning, as well as consuming your 5th corpse for the increased damage, then just hold right click. You should either get her down to 1 HP or damn near close to it depending on your gear and if you time this correctly. Remember again to be at least 85% HP or higher for the massive amount of damage while healthy we have from our Paragon tree. Step 14. If you didn't get her down to 1 HP initially, just keep spamming some bone spears while she goes through her phases. This part is super easy as you're basically just going from one platform to the other while waiting for her mechanics to finish. If you're also low on essence here, just remember you can spam your bone splinters to get it back and also pop any corpses you see, as we get 6 essence back per corpse we pop. Step 15. When she's done destroying all the platforms except for the middle one, just stand near the entrance and spam bone spears while waiting for her to drop down, and she's dead. Hopefully this was helpful for everyone. Make sure you hit that sub button and turn on those notifications if you enjoyed this tutorial. I'd also appreciate a follow on my Twitch at twitch.tv/PlatoBear. Before we finish this video, however, here's the full fight with all the mechanics that I went over in detail in real time. Until the next one, peace.
Your bones betray you. They shall soon serve me. Your bones betray you. They shall soon serve me. Your bones betray you. They shall soon serve me.